Welcome back, guys. This is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. We are out here at the 2024 Arizona Summer Shootout. This is day one of competition. It is a full weekend with 4 different classes of WRCCA competition crawling, and today we are running the 2.2 Sportsman cars. That means we are driving cars with transmissions that are centered, as well as drive shafts. There is no front and rear dig on these cars. They are running 2.2-inch wheels and tires. This one is my 5th dimension sucker punch chassis, and I've got it set up on Capra axles. I've also got lots of deluxe goodies in here with weight hangers as well as those loaded dice wheels. The weights sit down inside the trench of those wheels. Already took a look at that gate number 1 and that bonus gate. I ended up taking a bypass on the bonus gate. Just the car didn't seem to want it after a couple tries, so I decided, hey, let's just move on, continue on this course. We do have 6-minute time limits, so our challenge here is to get through the 10 mandatory gates and 3 optional bonus gates within that 6 minutes. Of course, we are trying to do so without incurring any penalties for things like backing up, running into gates, having to upright the car, or if you get stuck bad enough, even a reposition, which costs 10 points, and you go back to the previous gate that you made it through. So we're looking at my first run of the day. This video is going to be the first, worst, and best runs in 2.2 Sportsman for 2024 Arizona Shootout. This one was a little bit tricky for my car to get up there. It didn't quite want to crawl it, so I had to hit it with some momentum while not hitting the gates. Now we are driving up through some weeds, and we're going to take a big drop and a sharp left down here through gate number 4. See the extra clearance given there by my Capra portal axles with those large 2.2 tires. Tons of clearance on the axle housings. That's typically not an issue with this car. Nice little throttle out, and then we are well on our way to the next gate on course. A little bit of zigzagging here, thanks to our Judge Jeff here for taking a look at where I might be messing up and going wrong. But it was a great group. So the way this event ran is you ended up with a squad of people, and there were a squad of people for every course that we had set, which is 6 different courses through the day. And as we would finish up our runs for each course, we would then rotate courses, and everyone's squads would rotate around the courses as well. That's how the whole event was formatted. So super fun, and then you get to travel with the same people, and we ended up competing with our own friends. I traveled down here with a few different people to get to the event, and we were all able to run together, which is always a great time. Settling our suspension down there with those big weight hangers in the front. It's a ton of weight, and if you get the car torque twisting like that, a little servo wiggle from that Reefs 777 servo, it is direct power, usually helps settle the car back out. This one does seem to settle pretty well, and typically doesn't have much suspension geometry issue. You can also see it's got good punch there. We got a Holmes Polar 400 brushed motor in here, and I'm actually just running a it's a Hobby Wing 1080 ESC in here. So pretty basic setup, nice motor, but you know, just the good old Hobby Wing 1080. I believe it's the G2 if I'm not mistaken, and it crawls smooth. So very steep off-camber climb there. We ended up upside down, able to upright myself thanks to those rocks right there. So now we're zigzagging around. Now, another way you can pick up points is hitting a boundary line. A boundary line is drawn in chalk, and if your car touches it in any point, if you get any chalk on your tire or something like that, it is 10 points plus a repo. And as I push up through here, the judge calls it. He sees chalk on my tire. I just got a little bit too close, and I have to repo the car. Now, we are on a 6-minute time limit, but during a reposition, they do pause time to take your car to the previous progressed gate. So here we are, we went back to the gate I last made it through. I'm gonna try not to end up upside down that time. And then we're gonna go back over, and they'll go for redemption on this bonus, because this bonus has cost me 10 points because I had to reposition. Now I've got to get through it just to clean up those extra points I accrued, which means it's no longer taking points away from my score. It's actually just kind of canceling itself out at this point. Now, with WRCCA rules, we're gonna play around upside down here for a minute. You do have a maximum amount of points you can accrue during a run, which is 40 penalties. So I can only use up to 39. Once I actually hit 40, I have pointed out, and I'm no longer able to drive the course. A DNF, if you don't finish in time, is an automatic 40 points, and then you take away -2 points progression per gate that you made it through. So if you DNF at gate 6, you would get negative 12, and then also the 40 points, so you'd take 12 off of 40. So hopefully you guys are able to understand what I'm trying to explain here. I'm trying to explain it very quickly. This gate did not work out how I thought. I thought I would push up to the right side and make the transfer left. Car didn't like it, was able to do a backflip out of there, which actually was intentional, and then yeah, was able to drive into the overhang. Here we're going for this bonus line right before gate number 10, and I can see that it just needs a little more momentum just to get up there and get hooked, and then also not run into the cone, but it is kind of transferring over into the crack. But those are some of my favorite obstacles. I know how to navigate them. Working our way around, and now we are running low on time trying to get up to gate number 10. Now in the heat of the moment, I saw this line and was like, okay, this is how I have to get through 10. Well, the real line is to just drive the crack from where my feet are up towards the gate, and that right rear falling into the crack is not helping me. Now I've got like 15 seconds left, I think the judge calls about right here. Unable to get it, upright the car, and just in a frantic trying to get through the gate so I don't point out and DNF the course, ended up clipping that gate, but I had enough points to take the gate and get through and get the finish, which is a better points overall as compared to not finishing. So while that was our first course, let's take a look at my worst course. This is the only course I DNF'd this weekend out here at the Summer Shootout. So gate number 1, pretty straightforward. Gate number 2 is going to be some fun with some servo wiggling to get the car positioned around this boulder. Again, thanks to that Reefs 777 direct power servo. I am running 3S in this car, so it's got plenty of torque going to this front servo. And with those weights, you're able to swing it around, a little bit of throttle blipping, and intentionally upset the car and break traction to get it to slide around on the rock. This is all intentional. Then we're going to drive up into a crack while trying to make a corner. Now I'm going to point out that I'm going to intentionally drop that front right wheel down into the crack, and then you're going to see my servo movements. I'm trying to scoot the rear end of the car over by forcing the wheel face into a rock, turning the servo really hard, and then getting the rear tires to slide around. I was able to do this without a reverse. I saw multiple people have to take a reverse right there, and was pretty proud that I was able to get through that nice and smooth like that. During the run, it feels like it takes forever doing that kind of stuff, but watching the video back, it's really not too bad, just a few seconds there, but highly worth it to save some points. Now, gate 3 was fun. Gate 4 was one that a lot of people were unable to figure out. The line is to get your left front on top of the ledge I'm about to get there, and you need your right rear on top of the ledge. So the car's just barely trying to unload there, use a little bit of steering to settle it back down. It's locked into the line it needs to go. But unfortunately, my left rear does not want to go up the ledge, and I can't get both my front tires up in time. So I clipped the lower left gate, and I definitely don't want to hit both gates. Each gate is live. So I went ahead and just took the gate, stayed low, and moved on to gate number 5. Here is Dan. He's working his way through the course. We've had to pause time so that he could continue on his run while we are out here. So taking a little breather mid-run. Can be a good or a bad thing, depends how the run is going. So far, it's kind of mid. Already had to take a gate, but here we are about to get back on course. 2.2 Sporty actually did really well for me this weekend. I had 0 mechanical issues with the car, so it held together really well. And I have to kind of credit that to actually going out and kind of trailing with the car. I go out and run hard lines with it, and just doing stuff like that, it kind of shakes out the bugs in your cars. A lot of these guys only run these in competitions. A lot of them will run a brand new car into a competition, but this one's pretty well sorted and has some miles on it. So this gate in particular was pretty tricky, and it goes pretty bad here for me. So we just about flip over backwards, and then I end up dropping my front right tire a little too low. Trying to use that servo trick again. There's a ton of traction on this rock, and these deluxe goat tires are just biting into this rock super hard and actually binding the car up. It's not quite driving how I want. So right here, I needed to have turned right a little bit sooner, and now that I'm binding up the suspension trying to get up that rock face, I'm now on the belly of the car. Now I have pivoted around 180 degrees of where I'm trying to go. And then the front left tire gets locked in, and now my back left tire is locked in. So I take a back up. I don't want to fall off this ledge, but I also need to back up further than where I was. So now I'm in a bad situation. So why don't I make it worse by driving into the dirt where I can't upright myself? So I take 5 points to do that. This is a known hard gate on this course. Going into this, I knew that gate 4 and I believe this is gate 5 were very difficult. So trying to do everything I can to make it up this line. Car doesn't like it. Trying to use some wheel speed, trying to use some bumping. And I'll intentionally bump it really hard to try and get the car to kind of hop and move backwards so that it gets a slight reset without actually using a reverse. But the car is just not liking it, so I end up driving around. After wasting enough time on this gate, I need to drive over the gate and continue on with our progress down through this course. Now, getting back to the point out part of this competition, I have accrued a lot of points at this point. With that upright, barely missed that cone. Hitting gate 4 and gate 5, so now I'm sitting at 25 points plus a couple reverses, so things not looking so great there.
It was close.
Gonna try and side hill my way through this one, kind of use some throttle to try and rotate the car. Doesn't quite work out. Now we've done 2 uprights, which is 10 points, so now we're dangerously low on points. We've got like 4 to spare possibly, maybe a couple more, maybe a few less. But at this point, I have to start running this course clean or else I'm going to point out on this course. Not to mention I burned up a lot of time and I need to get done on time. So luckily ended up back on my tires there. Bonus gates only count if you finish your course. So you saw that I skipped a bonus there. I wasn't feeling real confident about that bonus anyway, but being low on time, I'm less concerned about bonuses and more concerned with just getting through gates clean. The hook on this, where the car wants to drive, is right where that cone is. So props to the course builder there. They did it just about right to where this was a very difficult gate, and unfortunately all my traction is right where that cone is sitting. So I'm trying to do everything I can to make the car go up where it needs the traction, but I'm not allowed to drive where the traction is. So that makes it inherently difficult. Wyatt's over here yelling at me. Again, thanks to Wyatt for recording all my runs out here at the Shootout. I really do appreciate it. He has some awesome camera work here, getting some great angles. So much appreciated, dude. But I almost skipped over gate 8 before heading into 9. Now, I watched multiple people not be able to make it through gate 9, and I have to run clean. I'm very low on time, and all I can do really at this point is hit the gate, point out. I was out of time, and unfortunately that ends out my run there. So my only DNF out there at the Shootout. Now, we're dropping into my best run of the day. What's really strange about this is I was just super calm going into this course. I was running first on this one and just kind of very relaxed. Like, I was trying to help Wyatt because he had a good run going for the day. I was trying to show him some possibilities of lines we had talked about while pre-walking the course about, hey, is this bonus possible? How does this gate look? What's the approach for these kind of things? Getting a stick all wrapped up in my car. If I were to drag that stick through the gate and hit a cone, it would count as a cone. So I'm really glad it came out of the car. But getting through gate number 1 there. Now we've got a bonus down here. There's a ledge in this crack. It's essentially the height of a curb, and you're going uphill and you're trying to transition up and across a curb essentially. But then they put a tree right in the middle of the gate as well, which narrows it. And trying to settle the car, I end up driving straight into the tree. Luckily, I was just able to sneak past it, wiggle my servo out of there. Now, being on a harsh angle like this is the line I have to hit so that I don't, belly out on that curb. And that also puts you in a lot of danger of hitting 2 cones at once. So luckily, just able to squeeze past there and really setting a good tone for this course. So from here, it's like, all right, game on, let's see how this goes. The course flow just kind of seemed to work pretty good, turning hard left up into this. I made that a little harder than it needed to be. Could have gone up and looped around and driven it down it from the top side. Right here, I see some definite things where I could have saved some points. Like right there, I probably could have driven down left, looped around in that dirt back there, and then made my way back over to this gate. But I chose to just take a reverse, and that was purely for time's sake. So maybe not the wisest move overall for points, But we've got one reverse going on our course so far, and we're able to get our wheel face down in there, use that Reefs 777 to try and scoot the rear of the car around. And I'm going to take one more reverse, get my front end pointed in a slightly different direction to try and help those rears come through on a better angle. Was able to get the traction right where I needed it. And there we go, made our second clean bonus for this run. Things are looking up on this one. Using a little bit of servo wiggling, position the car. I don't want to run straight into the gate. Luckily with those weight hangers, able to hold on to that ledge in the front while the car is fully articulated on an incline. Those two gates pretty much just drive-throughs, nothing too technical about them. Just kind of close proximity to each other makes them a little bit difficult. Now these big drops are always a little tricky, so got to watch out on your run out here. I don't want to end up upside down. Little throttle to try and bring the front end out, and then I run into the wall, but luckily some servo wiggling brings me right out of there. Now, let's see here. Moving up to this gate, I try and run it from the bottom side. Thanks to Wyatt for basically just telling me like, hey man, that's not a great line for that. You should probably come from the top side. And I'm seeing here that the car doesn't want to climb it. So I'm like, all right, let's get out of there. Use that sharp steering angle available on those Capra axles. Lots of overdrive in this car, lots of front weight, throttle blipping, helps this thing pivot right around. There we go. Coming in from the top side, much easier line. The car liked it a lot more. And we're able to move on to our next gate. I saw multiple people fall off of this one, but I ran first, so I had to figure it out for myself. See that front tire trying to unload and fall off this cliff over here? I do have a little bit of tungsten in my rear axles as weight hangers, so I guess I might have to credit those for staying planted through there, as the rear axle is the only thing staying on the ground. But just able to sneak through that gate, made it look pretty easy. There's some people who struggled pretty hard on that, so fortunate that my car was set up the way it was to get through that gate nice and clean, and really didn't take too long. This gate, really not too hard for a bonus, just loop around, take a bit of a scenic drive out there. Here we are, working our way up through 3 clean bonuses for the run, and I think we are now working over to gate number 10, which is going to finish up our run here. So guys, that is my 2.2 Sportsman run out here. My first worst and best courses, 2024. A lot of really fun times with everybody. Awesome to get to hang out and meet with everyone, meet some new friends, see some old ones. Thank you guys very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. My name is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. Hit some affiliate links down below if you're shopping online. So after running 6 courses through the day, I did end up with a final position of 16th out of 65 drivers. Kind of mid upper pack, not quite where I wanted to land, but overall I'll take it, not too bad. I definitely see room for improvement in many areas watching these videos back. Hit subscribe while you're here, and we will see you guys in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.